What's up everybody, Gundam Flexing here, and today we're going to be checking out the just completed RX78 Atlas Gundam. This model is a 144 scale high grade featured in Gundam Thunderbolt. At the time of this video, this product is roughly around the lower $20, and it also came out in 2017 of March, I believe. This product has quite a bit going on. It has a decal sheet, it has a sticker sheet, and it has some unique weapon systems and a very unique backpack. So before we go into the model you see in front of you, we're going to cover those things real quick. And coming up first is the decal sheet. Here it is. If you pay real close attention, most of the decals are pretty much all danger signs and caution signs. And if you follow the instruction in the back of the pamphlet, it's all over his body. But the most ones I used are a couple of the red ones and a couple of the thin ones, which I really think make the details pop out, especially around his legs and around his skirt. I also used the bigger decals, the EFSF on his right shoulder and his emblem here on his left shoulder. So yes, highly recommend to use the decal sheet. And coming up next is the tinfoil stickers. Now typically I'm not a huge fan of stickers, but these stickers really do add on to the color scheme of this model. You can tell there's a bunch of like thin strips and then you have a bunch of circular ones. The circular ones add a lot more color to his joints and his elbows and his knees. And the thin strips here and here really add on to the other colors, especially around his chest. So this is something that I typically would not recommend avoiding and absolutely using. Now, in regards to his fists, you'll notice I have two closed open fists right here for the left and right. And he also has two pairs, or an additional pair for his trigger hands. So total in this model, there is only 4 hands. The open closed fists, and then you got your trigger hands. You also have a pair of Beam Sabers for his weapons. If you see my previous videos, I pretty much keep these Beam Sabers in its runner. I prefer to use ranged weapons. I find them to be a little bit more dynamic when I like to pose these guys. And where the Beam Saber handles are, they are currently located in his shoulders, which we'll go over later in this video. And here is his other unique weapon system, and it is a railgun. Here it is. It's incredibly simple. The elongated pieces are separate pieces themselves, and then you have like the body of the weapon. And if this is so simple that if you wanted to like customize it or paint it, you could absolutely do it. You'll notice this is the handle right here. So in order to reach that handle, the bottom portion pops out. That way you could put the fist around it, and then you just pop it back in like this. And that's it. This is his rail weapon. His other 2 weapon systems are dual machine guns, and they are currently on the model. Here is his sled, or portions of his sled, which go to his backpack. This thing also serves as a shield, and I really like it because they add just a little bit of detail with these white pieces here, and I think it's pretty cool. You also notice there are quite a bit of decals, warning signs, at the bottom of the sled / shield. And this is where he grips onto his shield, and you'll notice there's a little indentation here. So basically with the open closed fists, he would grab on here, and then there is an additional piece like this that connects to his arm, and then it would also grip the little indentation right here, the little hole, and it'll also fall in place, like pretty much giving it a stronger grip for your positioning, which is pretty nice. And here is probably one of the biggest selling points of the Atlas Gundam, is pretty much his ski sleds or his backpack right here. Now you do have 2, and they are identical. So you have the elongated piece here, which will connect to one side of his waist, and although it looks like it has joints here, and there, the only bad thing about this is it's like very limited in its movement. For example, only the top portion here moves, and only the bottom portion here moves, and the center piece here. So the other joints, they pretty much don't move. And this is a little bit troublesome because if you notice here, you have like 2 indentions there. They go on the bottom of his feet. So when he goes into like his flight mode, you have to be very careful because it is a little bit stiff, and And trying to connect the feet and to the waist and then trying to position them at the same time could be a little bit frustrating, and the feet will pop out of these quite easily. But this thing is pretty dynamic, and it gives the Gundam itself a very dynamic ability to pose. This bottom portion could twist all the way around. This thing could twist all the way around too. And likewise, the center could also twist around. Again, the only point is that it has like 3 points where you could twist and turn, which is this one, and that one. Oh, this is a pretty cool decal right here. Which, according to the instructions, that's where it goes. I thought it was pretty sick because it's like literally like a silhouette of a FAMAS. And now to the model itself. The Atlas Gundam, I think he's really slick and very interesting build. Love the stickers, love the decals, and the color scheme I think is pretty sick. It's white, yellow, and dark blue. If we look at his head, his eyes are stickers, and he also has very small colors, so you know like twisting and turning of the head isn't going to interfere. And what I also like to point out is that his head could like head bop like he's listening to rap, like that. Looking at his back, it's just one elongated sticker piece with another decal on top of it. And because his little skis or his backpacks pretty much connect to the side of his waist or to the bottom of his feet, this whole area is enclosed, so it's not like a typical high grade where he does have a backpack. I really like the shoulder designs. Instead of like the standard typical jagged stuff, it's just round. And on top, if we look here, we could pop this portion open, and this is where his beam saber goes in. So you slide that in and it's secured, and I think that's a really cool place to put it, and something not like typical. What I've done is like, you know, put it in the side of the leg or put it on his skirt, but these beam sabers go into his shoulders. Nothing too special about his arms, but if we look at the bottom portions, you'll notice these holes right here, the one at the bottom here and 2 at the top, and that's where the shield would go. So with the assistance of this piece, you pretty much match the 2 top pieces here and the 1 bottom piece there. It fits in there tightly, and then you are able to connect it to the shield for a more secured grip. If you're interested, this is his pretty much his FAMAS or his machine guns. These are really simple to build. They're only 2 pieces. It's a shame because looking at this, it could have been a separate piece, his magazine clip. And then you notice here he could also grip the top portion of the railing. Unfortunately, the hands will not fit around that. But yeah, these are his machine guns. Really cool looking and very, very simple to build. And they go into his trigger hands, which are here. We look at his waist, or look at his skirt. He has a very, very short skirt, and the purpose of that is because the sides here and here where my fingers are at is where the sleds would go on. So if we were to use this as an example, the sled portion would just fit into this hole like this, and it's very tight and secure like that. Again, the only the only weak portion is the portion for his feet, because the bottom like this will go into the sled like that, and his toes will elevate up like this. And for me, again, from my experience, it's not too super secure like this, but anything like small little wiggle, if you're trying to adjust them, can make it out real easy. This is the back of the skirt, and this is really interesting too. So most Gundam kits nowadays, they come with its own little piece, so you're able to use it on its stand. And I highly recommend hosing it with the stand, because with his sleds, you'll be able to put him in a flight mode, which I think is a really cool pose. But here this one is, and instead of going to the bottom between his legs, it actually goes to the back and connects between the back and the back of the skirt. So that's pretty cool. If we look at his legs, I sort of like the design of his kneecaps right here. The kneecaps like come up like a horn and sort of shoot back into its thighs. This entire build is really interesting. His legs are actually a lot more complicated than most high grades that I've been building. Most high grades I've been building, it pretty much only comes in several pieces, but this one comes in quite a few. So you notice the layers of white and yellow. from his side all the way to his kneecaps. They are all separate pieces to include these gray little fins here. And the fact that you also have decals to add on to the sides, from a distance it looks really cool because the white and the red really sticks out like that. And then you also have the same thing for the sides too, there and there. We look at his feet. Again, you'll notice his feet. He has toes that could go up, and that is to pretty much support this sled. And the bottom of his feet, again, you'll notice the two indentions and there are two slits basically that will allow you to have him ride his little sled right here like this. But man, this thing is so stiff, and it is difficult trying to pose him with the sled, so you may want to be you have to be very patient and try not to rush it. But again, this is like pretty much the biggest selling point of the Atlas Gundam. These two pieces here are pretty much what's going to drive you in his posing. By himself, I think he looks like an incredible designed Gundam. But when you add these pieces here, you have what they call a submarine mode, which explains why his feet are thin and sort of like a pad. And then he also has a flight mode, which he's able to jump on top of it like this and surf the waves, just like his box art. So in combination with his little sled slash backpacks and his weapon systems, I think this is an incredible Gundam. For the price, for $20-something in the low 20s, you get a lot. You got stickers, you got decals, you got short range weapons, you got long range weapons, and of course you have the sled. If you do not have a stand to pose him, I would highly recommend getting one. This is some model that is pretty much a worthy piece to go on your desk. So pretty much this is all I have to say about the Atlas Gundam. It took me less than 3 hours to build, straight build. No customization, nothing like that. So if you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, please post it down in the section below. And as always guys, I will see you guys next time. Peace out.